Hi everybody, I'm back and today I have a collection video for you. It's quite as usual, it's quite an eclectic mix of games, and this time I've got a couple of consoles to show you and a few non-gaming things really to show you too. So first of all, just start off with those. One of the other YouTubers, NAS Nate, hi Nate, he did a video on some graphic novels he recently picked up, and I was at a car boot last weekend and one guy was saying a few usual amount of toot and stuff, but he also had a box full of graphic novels, and I went through them and there was a couple that interested me. One was one that Nate actually showed, and that was World War Hulk. It's all pristine condition, you know, no creases, brand new basically. And the other one was Planet Hulk. These are quite large graphic novels. They retail for about £15 each, and so I was expecting to pay about £5 each for those, but I asked the guy how much he wanted and he just wanted £1 each, so I thought, okay, fine, if that's what you want, I'll give you what you want, and I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, I got those two graphic novels. I read the World War Hulk. Okay, and the Planet Hulk I'll be reading soon, so I look forward to looking at those. While we're with books and so forth, I've got a few strategy guides. Nothing exceptionally special, but more for a collection. One is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the limited edition. I got that for a fair price recently. It's been out for a while, so it's come down a bit. And these other two guides look almost identical, but they are, you know, they are subtle difference. I'm quite a big Diablo fan, and I tend to collect all the strategy guides and so forth. And this is for the expansion set, the Reaper of Souls expansion set, and that's a standard guide for it, for just for the expansion set alone. And this one is for the expansion set and also Diablo 3, so it's like the Ultimate Evil edition. So it covers Diablo 3 and the expansion pack. So this is like one guide that you need for everything really. But being a collector, you know, for all guides and so forth, I had to get them, even though they do include the same information a bit. Okay. Another one which I can't remember if I've shown on the video or not is the Majora's Mask hardback limited edition book. I have all the hardback books for the Legend of Zelda series, and this was in game, and it wasn't discounted unfortunately, it was still 20 quid, but it's getting harder to find actually, and you still pay that wherever you get it from really, so unfortunately it wasn't discounted, but I thought I'd best pick it up while I still see it before they'd become unavailable, because when they do get out of the shops, they, you know, price soars. You have to excuse me a little bit, I've been suffering from a bit of a chest infection and cold, so if I'm a bit croaky, that's why. Okay, moving away from that to some games, and I usually like to have these in some sort of order, but I think it's going to be a bit of a mixed match today. First of all is a couple of Lego Batman games, one on the 3DS, and this is like the collector's edition, limited edition, and also one on the Xbox 360. I tend to, big fan of the Lego game series, and I tend to try to get the limited edition ones with the figures when I can, and whenever they come out I tend to get them in various formats. So originally I used to get them on the 360, a 3DS and a DS versions, and the PSP at the time, because they all different versions of the game and not just ports, they are quite different in some ways. And then later on when the PS Vita came out, I bought that as well, and now since the PS4 has come out, I've been getting that as well really. So fortunately you can't get a DS version of the games anymore. They've stopped doing this, they've dropped the standard DS versions of the games, but they still do a 3DSs and the PS Vitas, so I tend to buy about 4 versions of the game, and I will still continue to buy the Xbox 360 version of the games while they still make them, because you know, that's what I bought. I've got more on the 360, so Tried to be a bit consistent there. Sounds mad, I know. Okay, let's move on to some retro games. First of all, on the not 360, on the N64. This was a game that's produced by Rare, and it was recommended by Chad Bailey. So thanks, Chad. I finally picked up a copy that was boxed complete for £15, which I thought was a fair price, really. And this is Jet Force Gemini. He said it was good, and I take Chad's word for that. And it's made by Rare, and Rare makes an excellent game, so chances are it will be. Also, I got a repo cart, which is shown on the telly. Castlevania Vampire's Kiss, that came all the way from Japan. Is it Japan? No, Hong Kong, actually. It came from Hong Kong. There's a retailer based in Spain that exports repo games and so forth, and so I managed to get this quite cheap. It was about it cost me about what was it, about £22 in the end, so it's showing, and I had to spend about another £10 on the box and the innards, like the inner cart thing, not in the cart, you know, the cardboard bit that goes inside it, in the tray, that's it. Again, it's just a repo box. This Vampire Kiss game, any of you will know, to get box complete, you'll probably be looking at about £200 roughly, if not more. So it's not a cheap game to find, and so for well, I guess it's £33 I spent in total for that repo, and I'm perfectly happy to have that. That will do me. It's I like to have original games complete whenever possible, but sometimes you got to think, is it really worth spending hundreds of pounds for a certain game? And some games you might say yes, some you may not, and with this particular one, I think a repo cart is personally good enough for me. But I think, you know, I think repo carts are good, really, because it enables a lot of people to get hold of a physical copy of a game and play the thing, as opposed to it just being something that rich people have, and or you'd have to mortgage your house or something just to get, you know, to play a few, you know, retro games, which I don't think is always right. I know you can play emulated versions and stuff, but a lot of people like to still have a physical copy. And so, you know, you know, if it's a really expensive game and the physical copy's there, you know, in the repo form, I'll probably be tempted. I will, you know, as you know on some of my videos, I will spend, you know, a certain amount on games, and this is, you know, the next one's an example of that. This is a Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, box to complete. The manual with this is unfortunately it's missing the innards. It's just the outside sleeve of a manual. So I have ordered a replacement manual from the States, which is going to be cost me about £10. But I've got this all boxed. The cart's in good condition, and you know, it's got the plastic case and the little polystyrene bit. That was about £33 on eBay on an auction. So I actually did a great deal on that, because you can be looking to spend about, you know, double that easily on this game. So to get that for £33 plus another £10 for a new manual, £43, I think that's a good price for this game. Okay. Other things. Okay, I've got quite a rare Wii game to get to show you guys now. This game I got a good deal on it. This is a game that surprisingly retails or goes for, or I say goes for, it's advertised for by sellers on Amazon for as much as £150, believe it or not. Whether or not they actually get that for it, I don't know, but some people on eBay also want that money for it. But I managed to get this on an auction on eBay for £70, and it's in very good condition, all complete, and it's the last story. Like I said, it's a limited edition which has yeah, I think that's like a CD soundtrack and metal tin or steelbook or whatever, and art book and that sort of thing. And to get that complete for 70 quid, I thought that was a good deal. Again, on Amazon, you can probably looking at paying £70 just for the game on its own. So to get that for that money, I thought that was quite a good deal, really. Okay, something a bit different. A peripheral, an accessory, and this is for the Wii U and Wii. I can use it on both, and that's a Yoshi GameCube controller. It plugs into the Wii remote. I also have a Yoshi Wii remote, and so I thought, you know, being a Yoshi fan, I wanted to go for a set. Okay, again something that's not exactly gaming related, something I picked up yesterday in Toys R Us. It's only $6.99. I know these are more common now because I think they've increased the supply of these, but it's just something I thought I'd get. I do have a loose copy already, for which my daughter plays with me, and that's for Skylanders Trap Team, and that's a Chaos Trap. So if you've got kids, they'll know exactly what this is and why it's unusual. Okay, what else I've got to show? Okay. I got a Genesis game. Again, this is a repo version. It does come with a box, reproduction manual, and it's for the Sega Genesis. And it's normally, again, this game you'll probably pay for complete, well over £100, I imagine. But I got it for about this one was a bit cheaper in the SNES. I think it was about £24, and that is for Punisher. It's a good Capcom game. I've played one more bit before, and the emulated version, so I look forward to playing that. This game is a PS3 game. I actually got it off eBay direct from the publisher Topware Interactive, and you can get a number of their games direct from them. It's a German publisher, and they've done this box set based on a movie called Iron Sky Invasion. Now this was about £23 including postage, and includes the game, art book, and a special DVD and so forth. So it's not the most common game to find out and about in the wild. It's one that you do definitely have to order, I suppose. But it's based on the cheesy sci-fi film about what would happen if the Nazis somehow managed to get on the moon and were left to their own devices for 50 years to develop some sort of UFOs type weapons to take over the world and that sort of thing. So it's very cheesy, but it's not a bad movie. It's quite funny, but hopefully the game's okay too. Oh, my throat's drying out. I have to have some. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Right, let's pick some more games up. Right, this next game is a rare game on a PS2, and I say it's rare because you don't see it that common. But it was also released on the PSP, which is more common to find. But this version on the PlayStation 2, it's quite unusual to find, and I managed to get a sealed copy for a fair price. It's £15, which you may think is a lot of money for a PS2 game, but you try to find one of these in the UK in the wild, and you know, you're surprised how difficult it is. And it's MotorStorm Arctic Edge, and like I said, I've got this on a PSP, which will be one I'll play. I don't think I will open this. The MotorStorm games are great, and so they are worth playing. But because it's such a rare game, I might keep that one sealed and just play it on the PSP. Okay, another game which I've been wanting for a while. It's not a rare game, but it's uncommon, and it's unusual. Japanese type. I don't know if it's like the Persona series or not. It's some sort of bizarre type game, but it's Catherine. It's just a standard edition. I know there's various limited edition ones which go for mega money, but I just wanted that, and I think I got that for about £16, which may sound a lot for PS3, but that one's a bit pricey. It keeps its money. An exclusive Xbox serves an original Xbox game, Dancing Stage Unleashed 2. Nothing super rare, but it is an exclusive one for the system. A couple more PS3 games. Saint Seiya Sanctuary Battle. I think that's about £6 in the end. And Need for Speed The Run. I think this was about. I think I got that for about £2.50 or £3. I already have Need for Speed games on the Xbox 360, but I thought I might pick them up on the PS3 as well if I see them cheap. Okay, a DS game. It's published by Rising Star Games, and I always pick up games by Rising Star most of the time if they look interesting. And this one's a type of top-down type strategy type game. It's called Populous. I'm not sure it's any fun or not, but thought I'd give it a go. And got a couple of Mega CD games here, quite hard to find ones really. This one goes for about £40 odd, and I think that's what I paid for it really. But Robo Aleste, it's another sort of more of a top-down type shooter type one. And there's quite a few shooters on the Mega CD. And this one is like a more of a first-person type shooter, and that's Soul Star. Okay, these other two games are on the Sega Saturn, and I'm glad to get these. One I did pay about the standard price for it, but it is in extremely mint condition. It's like a brand new copy, and so it's, you know, it's a fair price for it. So this is one I got for £60. It's Burning Rangers, and it is so mint. It's no damages or marks whatsoever on that copy. This one isn't so mint. There's been some damage to the cardboard sleeve on the Sega Saturn game. That was a plastic sleeve one. This one's a cardboard sleeve one, and yeah, they do get a lot of damage. There's a bit of marks to it. This particular copy, the marks was reflected in the price. I only got it for £17 or box to complete, but it's the last game I wanted to complete my Sega Saturn collection. I have a modest collection of about 31 Sega Saturn games, which I will show in a later video. And but I just wanted to get these last two games to complete my want list, and that is Golden Axe, the Jewel. As you can see, the box packaging is not perfect, but it's you know, it's okay. It'll do me for that price. Okay, getting there. Something which isn't game related, but I thought was interesting. Basically, you know, Monty Python fan, and that is the Michael Palin Diaries, some CDs, it's like CD biographies of Michael, the years 69 to 79, which are, you know, the most important years for Monty Python. So that was a few quid in the charity shop, so I thought I might get that. That might be interesting. Some PSP games I've got here to show. Burnout Dominator. Burnout games are pretty good. The two Coded Arms games by Konami, so Coded Arms and Coded Arms Contagion. An interesting racing game by Ubisoft. Street Riders, and one of the Juiced games, and SWAT. This is a Sierra game actually. SWAT Target Liberty. All these games were between £2 and £3 they were, so I'm glad to pick those PSP titles up while they're cheap. A PS Vita game. Actually, I think I've got two of these. Three PS Vita games to show you. One is Killzone Mercenary. That was only £12 from CX. These other two games I got from Amazon. I think I paid about £17 each for these, or £18 maybe. They are only released in the States, so you do have to get them on import. They haven't come out in the UK in the normal shops. Obviously, a PS Vita is region free, so it doesn't matter so much. The Wolf Among Us, again a Telltale Games, and also both Telltale is The Walking Dead Season 2. I already have Season 1 on the PS Vita as well, so it's nice to have all of them on the Vita. Alright, some more original Xbox game, Still Life. That's quite an interesting looking title actually. It's about some sort of female FBI agent who investigates a serial murder case, and it goes all a bit spooky and creepy. It's set in Prague and Chicago, so it looks quite interesting that. Can't remember how much I paid for these Xbox games, they weren't a lot of money. Another original Xbox game, Greg Hastings Paint Tournament. I am, trying to pick up all the exclusive games on the Xbox, and NFL 2006 FIFA. I know there's a few more exclusive games that came out in the States only, but I'm not too worried about those. It's more of the PAL UK ones I'm trying to get. Okay, a couple of nothing special PS2 games for a collection. Worms 3D. Tack for Power of Juju. Another radio control car type game, and that's RC Revenge Pro. And this one was only £1.50, based on the original classic arcade game Defender. But it's a bit more, obviously, you know, more of an updated graphics type version. It looks okay actually. So it's a midway game. So I thought, yeah, I want that for a collection. This wasn't a lot of money, like I said. A couple of PS. Oh, it's another Mega CD game I forgot to include. This is a double game. It's got Soul Feast. That's how you pronounce it. You know, another shooter, and Cobra Command. This is more top-down here, can't shooter, I think. So yeah. And PS1 title, NHL Face Off. Now, I didn't have any hockey games on the PS1, so I thought I'll pick this up for 50p from the car boot. But actually, this is quite a less common game. It goes for about £5 or £6 on Amazon, so that wasn't a bad pickup, I thought. Okay, some DS games. Tack, the Great Juju Challenge, another Tack game, and a couple of Pokemon games. I'm not sure if this one's any good or not, but it looks different. It's Pokemon Dash, a bit of a top-down type racing game with Pokemon characters, so it's a bit different, a bit unusual. And here's one of the other mystery dungeon games which I haven't had, or haven't got, and that's Explorers of the Sky. So happy to have that. Okay, last couple of things. Couple of consoles. One was in the car boot. It was all complete. It had everything: controller, obviously box, leads, and everything. And it's quite good, reasonably clean condition. A bit dusty, but I cleaned it all up, and it works great. It was missing the manual, but I managed to get a replacement manual on eBay for £5. And that is a black GameCube. I got that for about £20. So, like I say, it's got the original Nintendo GameCube controller in there, and some places at CEX charge you just £20 just for a controller on its own. So to get a complete console again for £20 is pretty good. I do have another GameCube already. I think the box is somewhere up in the loft, and I use the GameCube with a GBA adapter underneath, and that's my one I use. But this one's going to be just for the, you know, for collection purposes, I think. I don't know, I may sell it one day, but there's no point selling them just yet. Okay, and last but not least is it's from a charity shop. I think I paid, how much was it? It was £20 this was, and it is a Game Boy Color. Now they weren't too sure if it's working or not, but what attracted me to it more than anything else was the fact that it came with the same colour accessories. And so this is like the Game Boy Color purple one that has a magnifying glass, and also it came with, it's got the original back and everything. It came with a battery type charger thing, but also it came with a power plug, same colour. And those accessories are harder to find than the actual consoles themselves, really. Now there was a bit of battery corrosion on the inside, but I managed to clean it all up with lemon juice, and the same with the battery compartment on the light. And once I've done that, everything's all been working. The screen's pretty good, it all works great, so I'm really happy with that. And the battery charger, it's got rechargeable batteries, that's dead, that's not going to work anymore, it's so long it is, you can't take it apart or anything and change batteries, no point really anyway. But it's nice for a collection anyway. So that Game Boy Color with the accessories was £20, and I got an official Nintendo Game Boy case for it for £5 off eBay as well, so for £25 that was that little Game Boy. And I do have a box to complete purple Game Boy Color already, but that's all staying in the box, all nice and mint. So it's nice to have a little Game Boy Color, which I can actually play with, which is this one here. So £25 in total for everything there. I thought that's quite a fair price. Okay, that's it. That's my pickups for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, you know, leave a thumbs up or whatever else. Leave some comments, and until then, I'll see you at my next video, which may be my Sega Saturn collection. So until then, bye.